I know. The irony of all ironies. Tonight's subject is pet peeves and those things that really annoy you. And one for me is without a doubt being late. I am so sorry, folks, that I'm late. Uh, kind of a small family emergencies seem to happen more often than not nowadays. I know, but I'll get into that in a minute. Again, sorry I'm late, guys. I really am. I'm gonna forego most of the fanfare here and just get straight into it. Especially since I've started out in this. As you can see, I don't even have my contacts in. I don't even have the Zoom room opened up yet. Pay no. Oh, well, there's no number there yet. So as I speak, I'm going to create this. Oh, and it's a flash raid. Perfect night for a flash raid, Ed. The wheels have officially come off today. Oh man. Oh god. Do I have stories about what pisses me off? All right, so I'm going to be looking down a lot in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to be setting this up as we speak. I'm putting the Zoom meeting together now as we speak. And but yeah, one of my main pet peeves is when people are late. I wasn't even thinking about that until I was late, and I'm hardly ever late. I attribute that to the military. Many meetings in the military, if you were late to those doors were locked, and you paid for it later. Later on in some of my professional career, it was the same way, and I think you guys I've already told you about my broadcast, or no, my time in a hospital. Spent a year in a hospital as the web design director, and you would call meetings, and they wouldn't start for like 20 minutes after the start time, when everyone would just mosey on in. It used to piss me off. I didn't plan to have a show like this. I literally just wanted to hear about what annoys you folks. But the more I get into it, the more these things start pissing me off. So there may be cussing if you're younger, and in the chat room. I apologize for that. But let's see. Info settings. All right. Thanks for the flash rate, Ed. And Dano and Jesse. I so appreciate that, guys. You know this is the norm. I try to start right at 10 p.m. every night. And I do that for a reason, because I respect other people's time. And if you're late for a meeting, if you're late for an appointment, that is absolutely a direct disrespect for that person's time. You don't give two shits about that other person's time if you're continually late. And I find that to be a gigantic character flaw and something that I just cannot respect. And I'm sorry if there are some of you in the chat. I know we're all different, but if some of you in the chat are late for things consistently, think about that, because you're doing those that are dependent on it happening on time a huge disservice. Huge disservice. And if most people thought about it, they'd understand that it was a smack right in their face. So there's my first pet peeve. My second pet peeve is not being prepared. I'm breaking all the friggin' rules tonight. Oh, oh, God damn it. And I'm too mobile. I shouldn't be this mobile. Okay. The meeting number is actually in the description box now. If you guys want to join, I'll be on as long as I can. Still having severe back troubles, and it's really got me down. Let me, before I go any further and get too much on a soapbox, let me say hello to everyone in chat. Posh Notions, how you doing, Bonnie? Good to see you. Crap, my dad makes me watch. How are you, sir? By the way, folks, tonight's subject was suggested by uh, Adam at Crap My Dad Makes Me Watch. Let's see if I can bring this up real fast. He does great videos with his kids. I mean, that's a true parent right there. Finding something that you and your kids can do together as a family activity. I don't care if it's reading. I don't care if it's sitting down at the dinner table every night at 6, 7 o'clock and eating dinner as a family, or sports, or just doing things like this. To me, that is commendable. And Adam and I have conversed quite a bit off off camera, and he's just a damn great guy. Let me see. Can And of course, it's not going to friggin' let me call it up. So my life just got a little bit better. Um, but listen, I will actually put a link to that in the chat. Go check out Adam's channel, and if you dig kids reactions to videos, movies, and I think some commercials as well, go check him out, will you? Thanks so much, Adam, for suggesting this topic. I want to do it proud, man. So I promise not to go too far overboard. Let's see, Emmanuel Gaffi. Emmanuel, guess what, dude? I'm reviving the collections uh, video for Thursday night. I don't know if anyone noticed that I have posted a shit. Live event coming up. God, I'm just so distracted. Um, fuck. Oh yeah, a live event that is all about your collections. I want to hear more. It got such great response. Everybody wanted to hear more about what other people are collecting, and they wanted to tell other people about their collections. Emmanuel Goffey brought it to my attention that he'd like to see a repeat. So that is going to be this Thursday show. Tomorrow night is that show I was telling you about, where we're going to talk about what would you rather have, a one-time cash donation to your channel's efforts, or shares, right? Social media shares. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the show. Wendell Live, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Jesse Mendez, here we come. Yeah, thanks so much for the flash rate. I'm sorry that it's not a number one this time. Literally, I'll tell you about the crisis here in a minute. In certain terms, I don't know what it is about this medication, but I sound so breathy tonight. And last night. Sorry about that. Who else do we have? We got Susan Hamilton. Susan Hamilton, always a pleasure to see you in there. She's our resident binge watcher. Love Susan. Can't wait to get her up here, whether it's video or just audio. Bob Dip, how you doing? I've seen you around today. Good to see you. Ohio Relic Hunter, good to see you again. I know I've seen you in here before. Jason Wheeler, good to see you as well as Jacob Billick. Yeah, we just met today on Sharney's, on the Creator Spotlight show. How you doing, Jacob? Good to see you, my friend. I can't wait to look at more of your videos. Patty Broussard, yeah, tell these new folks that this is not the way it goes. Normally, Patty Broussard, always a pleasure seeing you, hon. I noticed you're in a Facebook group now, as I am. I liked one of your posts. We've also got Placer Chaser. How you doing, bud? I see him in Ed's stream. Ed goes live. Ed is from Flash in Your Pan. You guys have noticed him in the chat. I know some of you already know him, but he runs a live stream every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where they talk, metal detecting, gold panning, just all kinds of things, and they have guests on. It's great, and most of these folks you see in here are from that show. Like Luke Duke, for instance. How you doing, Luke? Good. He's a fellow Hoosier. How you doing, Luke? Good to see you. King Jelly Bean, always a pleasure having you in here. I'm going to have to clean up my language. I see I've got some young folks in here. I apologize. Drone Kings in Darwin, how are you, Brad? Good to see you as well. Ginger Locks, Mom, how are you? I hope you feel well. I haven't seen you around for a while, and I don't know what your status is. I hope you're feeling better than you were last time I talked to you. Raven the Commentator 2001, good to see you too, hon. Good to see you. Colleen Hogan, how are you? Welcome to the show. All good, brother. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate that. Who else do we have here? Ghana, how you doing? I'm good as long as the meds are working, but when the meds are gone, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Uh, thanks for asking, Don. I appreciate that. David Villa, how you doing? All right, and Brenda Canada, good to see you again as well. Let's see. Jesse Mendez, I think I already said hello to you, but it's worth saying it again, my brother. How you doing? Freaky Chick, how are you? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Uh, Jaron Wheeler, good to see you, my friend. As always, have I missed anyone? Oh, it's creator. Well, there's a creator spotlight show there. Mike Van Duzy. He's a great guy. You guys want to check him out. He's got all kinds of he's all about creator support. So check Mike out if you get a chance as well. We've also got Was Blind. Oh, how are you? Thanks so much for being here. And of course, Ed, flashing your pan. How you doing? David, the producer. Welcome to the show, my friend. I'm starting to get caught up here. Shauna Marie. Penny, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Lou Rock, how you doing, buddy? Hey, good. I'm glad you're here, Lou. You wanted me to email you when I was going to approach that subject that you and I talked about on that live stream with Green Bay Wacky and Recycle Dude. Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow night, dude. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. You're more than welcome to just hang out and watch, or you can jump up as well. Your choice. Dad, Incredible BBQ, how are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Okay, like I said, I'm okay as long as the meds are doing what they're supposed to do. Like right now, I'm at the edge of my meds. So 11 or 12 o'clock, I'm going to be hurting again. I'm going to have to take them just to get a good night's sleep. I did say Chrissy. Did see Chrissy come in here? Yep, outdoorsy gal. Oh, how you doing, girl? But here's another pet peeve of mine. Before I get to my guests, I got two pet peeves I really, really want to get off my chest. One is I called the doctor today, and I want to know how many of you have had this sort of experience. I want to hear your particular pet peeves. Don't get me wrong, but I want to hear if you've had this. I'm going to Bob. I literally called him up today and at 9 o'clock. And I didn't hear anything until 3. So I called him back and I get the voicemail. And the voicemail says, if your call doesn't get here until after 3 p.m., we might call you tomorrow. Well, my voicemail message was, well, what about us that called, this morning? And I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I was just like, how about calls that were received before 3? When should we expect those returned? And I went through my whole thing again about being in the ER Sunday morning with my back and still in pain and excruciating pain when the meds wore off. And I need to know where to go from here because nobody has been able to tell me exactly what's wrong with my back. Well, as you might expect, I would immediately get a call back. And that's not necessarily what my pet peeve is. But here I'm talking to them. And the nurse of my doctor is saying, well, if you'd like to come in, we can schedule an appointment. I thought, all right. So, or we can, if you'd like, we can order some muscle relaxers and you can just go pick them up. And I'm like, and I looked, or I didn't look at her, but I said to her, I said, isn't that your job? I said, I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. I went to the ER. They poked around on me a little bit, said something about a pinched nerve. You guys said arthritis. I don't know what's going on with my back. And now you want me to decide on what medicine I should take? Oh, no, I'm not dealing with the VA, Jacob. I am a vet, but no, I don't deal with the VA. It's not easy sitting in. I know this is a drum throne, but it's not easy. It does keep me in good posture, but it's painful to say the least. So I just couldn't believe that they were asking for my advice on what to do about a diagnosis I don't have. I'm sorry. Now I'm ranting. Sorry. Smoke pot. That has been, actually, Jesse and I have talked about CBD oil and me and several other people have as well. It hurts to cough and it hurts to laugh. But and I do want to try it, but I need a diagnosis of this damn thing. Tell me it can't be worked on. I don't care. I just want to know one way or the other. So I forced him into this. No, you tell me whether or not you should see me. I'm in pain. I went to the ER. You don't think that was just for fun, do you? So you tell me what if I need to come in. So they did. So well, how about 8:45? All right, fine, I'll be there. Now, it sounds like I was being an asshole on the phone, and I might have been a little rough, but I wasn't. I wasn't an ass. I was trying to be as calm as possible. So that sort of thing, which kind of screams or says a lot about incompetence. I mean, that should never have ever come up in my estimation. And I might be looking at this wrong. I hope you guys can tell me. Yeah, and I'm already getting stories in the chat. Lou, I want you to watch some of my actually Lou and oh, JC, JNC No Limit TV. How are you? But yeah, Lou Rock, and maybe a sciatic nerve. I know my left leg wants to go numb when the meds wear off. But yeah, Jacob Billet and Lou Rock, you guys are new here, and everybody else that's new here, watch my other episodes. They're actually a little less of a soapbox. All right, and my last pet peeve, and I will be very, very short on this because I want to devote an entire show. Well, I think we can all relate to having a horrible boss. I mean, shit, they made movies of it. Am I right? Well, part of the reason for this emergency was somebody very, very, very close to me is having a very rough time dealing with let's just say, I don't know, a personality that is just untenable, like a situation that's untenable. And that is a huge pet peeve of mine. One of the reasons it's a pet peeve of mine is because I've been a boss several times, and I know what it's like to, one, be a peon, two, be a commander, an underling commander, and a boss. And I'll also know the bad traits of each one of those positions, things you should always avoid, right? And sometimes somebody who doesn't recognize that, somebody has absolutely zero self-awareness, and I really want to cuss right now, so I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, they need to document everything. Thank you, Wes Blunt. You're absolutely right. Above and Beyond Drones, how you doing, Jim? Good to see you, my friend. Have I missed anyone else that popped in? Doesn't look that way. Oh, Jack, no. How you doing, Jack? Good to see you. Yes, they are stupid sometimes. But so are most people. I mean, even we are stupid at times. But well, thank you, Mother Nature. Thank you. I've actually I've seen a lot of your videos. I kind of dig your setup and style there. By the way, I am frustrated, and um, physical and emotional pain does that to you. Rad Panda, how you doing? Good to see you. I didn't share this out. I didn't get to prep at all. In fact, I don't even have a graphic. If you guys want to join the show, I know we've got 3 people on. You can go to the description box, and the instructions are right there on how to join the Zoom feed. I'll try to stay on an hour. I've already been blathering on for 20 minutes, so I've got to jump and get some folks in. Thanks so much for going through that. But look for that Bad Bosses show, because it's going to be a doozy. Grumpy Vlogger, how you doing, Grumpy Vlogger, and how are you doing, Raven?
I am doing good so far.
Were you able to weather that rant?
Yeah. I mean, I'm 18 years old now, so I can handle cuss words. I mean, when I used to not handle a lot of cuss words all that much
All right.
because there's a little story from when I was like really little. I was in, okay, let me set this up. I was in preschool at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and my teacher, she was a female, she was getting pretty angry. And you want to know what I said?
What'd you say?
I said, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
That was
That's
it.
what I said.
That was it.
Yeah, yeah, and the teacher laughed at it, but unluckily for me, I lost recess for that time, and so I had a little bit of a talking to with my parents, and they told me those are no words. And look at me now, even in private, I can cuss confidently.
We all develop a knack for it after a while, don't we?
Yeah. Um, oh my gosh. So,
It's why I
so
don't worry about it too much when I'm on the show. But yeah, you kind of gotta
yeah,
think about that. Yeah,
yeah. You gotta think about the kids every once in a while.
exactly,
So
exactly.
like so since today's subject is pet peeves, I want to talk about like one thing that's been kind of irritating me, especially on the internet,
Sure.
and that is like the comment wars, like specifically like on YouTube and then on like many different fandoms. There's like drama on the internet left and right. The constant no, 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 I'm so much better than you. I'm so much better than you. You are below me. You are nothing to me. Just all this constant negativity.
Are
And,
you hearing that a lot?
I'm seeing it, and sometimes, and I'm seeing it, but the best thing that the best you could do when something goes wrong with this is to just ignore the drama, basically, and just get out of that toxic environment. That is like how you need to like get rid yourself of that toxicity, especially like when you're in fandoms. Like, for example, the Rick and Morty fan base. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but there have been stories about the Rick and Morty fan base going crazy over the McDonald's Szechuan sauce, and there was a viral video where people are just like crying over this. They're just saying, a pickle Rick, a pickle Rick, pickle Rick."
Nice. It's
Yeah,
it's funny. It's funny, how people get hung up on that sort of thing. Honestly.
yeah, over a freaking sauce packet of all things. I mean, McDonald's McDonald's made the Szechuan sauce a limited time only thing for a reason, for crying out loud. And it's in promotion for Mulan, like back in 1998,
Yeah.
and people are and like and you have all these Rick and Morty fans all riled up saying we want more sauce because that's what we saw in the TV show or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have like the fan theories. Oh boy, the fan theories. Where do I even begin? The Gravity Falls fan base is super guilty of this because they just say my theory is right, your theory is wrong, and that's this whole that's part of the toxicity of the whole thing.
Yep. That's true. That's true. Why do you suppose that is, Rachel? Or Raven?
Well, mainly Raven, mainly is because people just want to assert their intelligence. For example, like I'm gonna be getting back to Rick and Morty. They say, well, to be fair, you need to have an IQ of 300 to understand the show itself. And I'm like, seriously? At any IQ point, you can understand any show and you can just have fun with it. You don't need to be Einstein levels of smart in order to enjoy a TV show, for crying out loud.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Oh man. Well, what else annoys you?
Well, another thing that really annoys me is like kids throwing temper tantrums because they don't get what they want. I mean, sure. Like if a kid has special needs, I can respect that. But if that kid keeps throwing temper tantrums constantly, then I don't respect that parent as a human being, and I also don't respect that kid as a human being. Because one thing that kids need to understand is that the world does not revolve around them.
That's right, and that's the parents' job to teach them that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been having like the same problem with like my youngest sister. She is on the severe side of the autism spectrum, and like she gets pretty angry whenever she gets told no, or she's like denied access and stuff like that. And then it just kind of like annoys me to no end, and it annoys dad to no end, and it annoys mom to no end, even annoys all adults to no end.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
she's been doing better. She's been doing better about it. We've been doing like behavioral interventions and stuff like that. I know this like because my aunt is a BCBA.
Mm. You still there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
here. I was just like getting through like thoughts here.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, we lost you.
yeah. Bottom line is that if little kids throw temper tantrums and the parents don't do anything about it, I have zero patience for them and I have zero respect for them. I don't have the patience for little kids that scream and cry over not getting that toy or parents that they or thing that they wanted. That's not they're not my responsibility. They're the parents' responsibility just to keep the kids under control, even if they are special needs.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct.
Yes.
Well, that's
Yeah, Posh
go ahead.
sorry, Posh Notion says that there's also a huge difference between a tantrum and hold on, let me see if
An
I
autistic meltdown. She's absolutely
an
right.
autistic
Yeah,
meltdown.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And
I
but
mean,
the
even
parents will
if
know, of course. And well, you should know, Raven.
yeah, I
Um,
know this like because
yeah,
I am on the autism spectrum and I've been
right.
through this a whole lot, but luckily I don't have a lot of these autistic meltdowns as much as I used to anymore.
Well, that's good. That's
And
good. Well, getting these off your chest, did that help?
yeah, absolutely.
Well, Raven, I'm going to move on to I got three more
All
people
right.
in the next half hour, so I'm going to move on, and I want to thank you though for letting us know. I appreciate that, and for the insight. Still there? Have you dropped off? Thanks again, Rachel. Raven. Appreciate it. I got Rachel on the brain tonight. I don't know why that is. All right, let's bring up Ed. Oh, Ed. I let him get a hold of his microphone there.
Yeah,
How you doing, Ed?
good. Can you hear me?
I can, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Oh,
We had a
fantastic.
great weekend, except for the rain on, oh, what was it? Sunday night, I think it was.
Oh, did you guys have rain over there Sunday night? I
Yeah,
must have missed
yeah.
that part of the show. I was in and out. I was doing some work, and I actually this medication makes me sleepy too, so I took a power nap.
No, I'm talking about at Gold Rush days.
Oh, I know.
But
I might have missed that part of the
I
show when
don't,
you. Yeah.
oh, did we talk about it?
Yeah, I don't
I
know. I
we
remember asking you how
talked
you
much
guys.
about rain.
Yeah, I remember asking you how you guys did over the weekend, and then I woke up and we were way off into another subject. So.
But it was a good weekend.
Oh, good,
Met
good,
some new friends and saw some old friends. Saw
fantastic.
some friends I only see once a year during Gold Rush days. Um,
Well,
don't talk about the rain. That's a lot like,
oh yeah, don't talk about the goal.
I can't say name or I'll have to put a quarter in my jar.
I heard you talking about that, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Of course, I wasn't there, so I didn't know where that was
Okay,
going.
I'll give you a hint.
Uh-huh.
It's a law. What can go will go.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, who's named that? I mean, you don't have to say who it is. Do I know him? Should I know him? I know the originator, but
But you don't want to say that
I can't. Yeah, now I just can't.
because then it might happen. He might
What if
show up. It might show up.
what if I talk about something along the lines of an attorney at law? Is that? I mean, we're still talking about that, right?
Close enough.
But I
Yeah.
haven't said anything.
No doubt. No doubt. Oh, brother. Pet peeves.
Pet peeves. What are your pet peeves, Ed? What annoys the hell
People
out of you?
that litter.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole discussion on your show about that, as a matter of fact.
Hell yeah, there was,
Yep,
brother.
yep. I can't stand that either. Oh man, somebody just typed it. Shh, don't look, Ed. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
Hell, damn you.
Jacob's a good guy. I saw him for the first time on Mike's show. He jumped up and told us a little bit about what he's doing. Dude's buff too, man. He's
Oh,
ripped.
Chaos Battlers, Jacob?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Jake, if you've seen him in the chat there.
Oh, Jacob
Billet.
Billet.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wrong Jacob. I thought of Jacob and Chaos Paddlers. That's
Oh, I don't know who that is. Yeah.
if you like fishing and kayaking and stuff, outdoors stuff,
Hmm.
magnet fishing, metal detecting, you might like
Oh,
it.
cool.
I know you like prospecting. I know you like the
Yep.
outdoors and stuff, and you
Fi
might enjoy it.
Fishing and
He,
hunting. Hmm.
he's a really good guy. He's been a guest on our show before,
Oh, cool. Cool.
and he has an outstanding channel.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, litter, and
Yes.
especially those that preach like, "Oh, Earth first." But I'll leave my diapers in the campfire hearth, and I'll leave the place all thrashed out so some guy out gold prospecting can load it up in his truck and bags and take it to the U.S. Forest Service and say, "Hey, I got a bunch of trash for you."
Some people, man. Some
Yeah,
people.
it's a pisser. That's
I
why I'm always carrying out. Except that time when we went, those creeks were really nice, and only trash I packed out was my own.
Yeah, well, we found a couple on the way back, if you remember correctly.
That we did.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
did.
And of course, I meant every word of that chat, folks. Always leave an area cleaner than you found it, and that is not limited to the out of doors.
Oh,
Always
sure.
leave an area cleaner than you found
Except for my shop. My shed
it. Ed,
is a mess.
if I came over there and I saw a straw wrapper on your table, I'd throw it in the trash can for you. That
Well,
way I
you'd
could
be
say,
picking up a lot of stuff and throwing it in my already overflowing trash bin. My shed's a mess. The only clean part is this part behind me. And if you looked on the floor, that'd be a mess too. Dirt, cigarette butts, and all kinds of crap. But
That's okay,
yeah,
but that's your place.
in my shed, I'm an Oscar. Out in the woods, I'm a Felix.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome. I wonder how many of the younger folks will get that reference.
Probably zero.
Hey, Tony's in the house as well, and not a great gamers here, and Artiz Fun, Inspired John, Golden Gun
Actually,
Gamer.
next week's show should be pretty good because we'll have our friend Tony from Viewed This on as our guest.
Oh, did you guys hear that promo? Looks like Viewed This is going to be on the Flash in Your Pan Tuesday night hangout, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it.
That's right.
Don't miss it. And for you,
Every Tuesday for going on 3 years, starting at 8 o'clock. Have not missed one night.
wow, dude, I'm impressed.
The metal detector is part of the treasure hunt in hand.
That's right. That's right. So is the magnet fishing.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, there's many fingers to the treasure hunt in hand. If you're auction type person or a
Oh yeah.
garage sale, flea market, thrift store, any type of collector, you name it.
Yep.
If you have a passion for what's your treasure, really, what's your treasure?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh well, that goes along the same lines as our Thursday night collection show, part 2.
hey,
Hey. Did you love those tie-ins, man?
definitely,
We're killing it there.
Cheers, buddy.
Oh, look at that. I'll cozy you. There we go.
Wrong side, Feldman.
Oh man. Well, listen, Ed. What else ticks you off?
Now here's a pet peeve I used to have with my ex.
Uh-huh.
And my kids. Is there a retro radical in the room?
I have not seen a retro radical. I do see Sean McKenna. How you
That
doing?
would be my son. my youngest, if there's a retro radical in the room,
Oh,
I've never talked ill about my ex-wife in front of my own children. But one of my biggest pet peeves are, children learn mostly from at home. And unless you totally allow it to the school and then they get all fucked up. Part of my beep uh, from school system and even some private school systems for that matter. But, you know, parents aren't made to be their children's friends
that's right.
or pals. My ex-wife always tried to, of course, we want to spoil our children to a degree, give them what we didn't if we were able to. But I would say, oh, you want this? Help me with this. I got to earn my money. You need to earn your money. It'd be beneficial to you in the long run. And my ex would just go behind me and buy them this. And it's always, oh, my baby's. Oh, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not meant to be their pals. We're meant to be their parents. Friendships like James, I'm sure your own son would agree with me on this. I'm sure you were not his pal when he was younger. Parenting comes first. Parenting requires, no, you can't.
No,
Pick up your room.
that's right. No one to say no. Teach them
Pick up
responsibility.
the dog dirt.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's tough to it's tough.
Boundaries.
Yeah, it's tough for people to understand that you're not raising a friend. You're raising a human being.
Friendship will come later.
That's right.
I know my kids now that they have children, because I used to hear this a lot from my dad when I was younger. One day too, you'll have children.
Oh yeah.
Now I know exactly what he meant.
Absolutely.
And now my kids are understanding why at least my boys, they understand why I was the way I was when they were young. And now we even have a stronger friendship. Make any sense?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the way it's supposed to be, dude. That is absolutely the way it's supposed to be. But you never stop being a parent. Oh, by the way, was blind had a very good point. Prayers to.
I agree in a way, freaky chick, but yeah.
Oh, you're way down there.
Above and beyond. Oh, I'm in top chat. No wonder. Be above and beyond. You need to be a parent first, and a lot of time, parenting requires tough love.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know me, I've gone off on rants on that before. Was blind wants to mention that we should make sure we send our best to the people in the Bahamas and everyone that's facing that hurricane. She says prayers.
And hopefully their corrupt governments don't steal all the relief money.
Oh, yeah, again.
And
Not them.
Goes to the people that need it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What happened to my contacts? Oh, how you doing, Claire? You didn't catch the head of the show. I was like 2 minutes late. Now that's only because I sat down and it took me 2 minutes to just get on the air. And then I forego all the formalities, kind of a small family emergency.
Looking at your carpet going, where the hell that contact go?
Oh, heavens. No. I wasn't doing that. No, I literally was, I was deep into a conversation with someone who needed it. It was actually my wife, and I almost canceled last minute. I almost popped on, and she insisted that I go on. She's the best wife a guy could have.
Well, excellent, and you should say that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she's still in the living room. She heard me, so
racking up those brownie points.
It wasn't on purpose, man. It wasn't on purpose. It was heartfelt.
Oh, I'm I'm sure it was. You know,
But I'll take him.
I can say this literally now. Besides being a online friend, you are a physical friend.
Yes, yes. Ed and I have met. For those of you who don't know, and I should point out, Ed, bear with me for a minute, will you?
Sure.
I didn't get to say any of this up front. For those of you who are new here, this is the video call-in show. This is a show where you can come on and talk about any good people can come on and talk about whatever they want to talk about. I do it via Zoom, which is a video conferencing software. If you point your browser, and I may not make it on tonight because I have 3 guests to get in the next 20 minutes. But you point your browser to zoom.us, click on join a meeting, and then enter that number right underneath Ed's fingers there, and you get put into a green room, and then I bring you up and talk. And I'm not normally like this, as heated as I am. I like to keep the subjects light, but occasionally, as Ed will tell you, they do get kind of heavy. Thanks for bearing with me on that one, Ed. I wanted to get that out.
No problem. No problem.
Oh, friend. And if this is content that sounds like fun to you, make sure you subscribe.
When it's trans.
That's right.
Is Jesse in the waiting room?
Jesse is in the waiting room. In fact, he's next. I'm going to try to get to all 3 of them if I can. So,
well, why don't let me exit stage left?
All right.
And I'll let mi amigo in the room because he was talking about this during our pre-show.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
I want to make sure he gets on because I know you and me, my friend.
Forever. Well, Ed, as always, man, thanks for being on, dude. And we'll catch you next time, bud. All right.
Betcha.
All right.
See ya.
See ya. Always a pleasure having Ed on. He's by the way, if you don't know, he's the reigning champion of appearances. All right, so let's bring up Jesse. A new name every time, Jesse. Can you hear me yet? Jesse. Surely heard us talking about you a minute ago.
Well, of course I did.
How you doing, bud?
All right. How about you? I hope you're feeling better.
I'm laughing through the pain, my friend. I'm laughing through the pain.
That's what you got to do.
Yep.
Got to laugh through it. So it's like laughing at work, right?
Oh, yeah.
Laugh through it.
Yep.
So I saw this. Of course, I have one main pet peeve. I have lots of pet peeves, but the one pet peeve that really gets me, and I got to give you a little bit of background. One of the things that I've done in my life is I've been in transportation, over the road hauler, truck driver, record driver for big trucks, and just a regular old driver. The thing that pisses me off is distracted drivers. Not just cell phone use, which is a big no-no. I need to carry a card that says "Get off your phone" while you're driving. But it's not just that. It's the ones that are literally not paying attention to what they're doing. People don't realize that you're driving a 2,000-pound weapon that in an instant can kill you and anyone around you. So when I see somebody, being an idiot on the road, I do what I can to stop them. I see you on the road driving drunk. Guess what I'm doing? I'm calling the cops and I'm staying right on your butt until they get there.
Yep.
And make sure that they get you. I've done it plenty of times, and I will continue to do it.
I've done that before myself.
Oh yeah, I've lost friends due to drunk driving, relatives due to drunk driving. Drunk driving is probably the worst thing you could do, but just being distracted. People don't realize how quickly you can get into an accident just by taking your eyes off the road just for a second. I mean, it's just incredible how much damage you can do. Like I said, I was a record driver, and I worked on the Ohio Turnpike. And when you work on the Turnpike, you have exclusive areas that you work. So you work all accidents, all breakdowns. And dude, I have seen some accidents that were just horrendous, and caused because, and I'll say it, sometimes the driver just didn't want to stop, take a break. You know. So in the process, they've either killed themselves or killed a bunch of people. You know, I've seen it so often, and it just, if you were rolling me and you saw, and you were riding with me, and I saw somebody on their phone, you would hear my horn, meet. Get off the phone. It just one of my biggest pet peeves. You're in a 2,000-pound weapon, people. Please be aware of what you're doing when you get in that car.
Yeah.
Don't talk on the phone. I mean, you can talk on the phone. I mean, you talk anyways. One thing that people don't seem to realize is that which is why they want you to use hands-free. When you have the phone in your hand up to your ear, believe it or not, you are thinking about your hand up to your ear on your phone. You have all your movements that you make to look around have to do with that phone being up to your ear, and you just don't see it. You don't realize how stupid that is.
Yeah.
To be that distracted, where you're just that distracted. Pay attention on the road, please. The other thing that's always been a pet peeve of mine is spelling Jesse with aJessie. Ooh, that hurts me.
A little less societal impact, though.
Right. But that's a personal pet peeve.
Oh man, fair enough. I literally had to look and see how I spelled your name tonight to make sure I didn't do that.
But it happens well, it's funny, like, because people in the chat room will do it too.
Oh,
right next to Jesse. Hey, Jesse, Jesse. Dude. That's personal. I just take it in. Look at Drone. Joke.
You're going to get a lot of them now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. But yeah, driving, if people being distracted when they're driving just is a real, it's a scary one for me.
Oh, it is. And it should be, man, because it only takes a few seconds to travel a friggin' football field.
Oh, right.
In that bullet.
Yep. People don't realize that. And like I said, I've been I actually was a cab driver in Houston, Texas. Yeah. You talk about some crazy stuff there. So yeah, I've taken, because of all the driving that I've done throughout my life, I've taken a lot of defensive driving courses.
Yeah.
I've seen Signal 30 and all the other ones, but I mean, here's a little bit of a fact. Most traffic accidents that happen at a light, at a stoplight, within 3 seconds of the light change. That's why when the light changes, I go 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000 before I move.
Yeah. Same here. And if I'm going to move earlier, I know what's oncoming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And when you run that yellow light, you know what you're doing? You're practicing for that accident.
Yes, you are.
You're just practicing.
Yes, you are.
You're never in that big a hurry, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
be aware.
I want to add to that, Jesse. Have you seen the recent videos of those absolute morons that blow through school bus stop signs?
Oh, dude! Honestly, if I had a gun, I'd be shooting their tires out right then and there.
I hear you, man.
I'd be
Kids don't do that, but it isn't. It will make you angry enough to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. But it would make me angry enough to do that. It would make me angry enough to cause an accident with them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Well,
know, just stop them.
yeah. There was just I think last year 3 kids were killed in here in Indiana due to that very same thing. It just
Yep, that's not it's 3 seconds is not really a long time to wait, but it's worth waiting that 3 seconds before you pull out when that light turns green. You just never know.
Yeah.
You don't always see that car coming, and unfortunately there are blind spots. And you're right there. You're just having a good old time with my name right now.
Jessiah. Jessia. But Rancher Grown did have a good question for you. Wants to know, and me too, wants to know if you and Jesse are for or against self-driving vehicles. You want me to go first? Or you want to go first, Jesse?
Go ahead.
Okay, I would say I'm against them when if we still have manual vehicles on the same roads, but I'm for them if everyone is utilizing them, because I think the former is a recipe for disaster. If we had 2 separate road systems, that'd be fine. I still want the tactile feel of a gas pedal and steering wheel, but hey.
I would go with them as long as I was able to take control at a moment's notice.
Ooh,
as
yeah.
long as I was able to say, it's mine now, boom. You know, I'm not going to depend on it. Other than that, if I was not able to control the vehicle in any way, and I just had to depend on it taking me from point A to point B, no, ain't going to happen. I'm just like, I don't know. Because, well, here, in order to have a self-driving vehicle, you have to have electronics and probably Wi-Fi system, right?
Yeah, it's got to be connected somehow.
That is what? Easy to hack.
Yes.
Easy to get into. So here I am. I got my car all set up, going to Cleveland. Why in the hell I would go there, I don't know. But going to Cleveland. And
hey, it's your trip, man. Go anywhere you want to.
Okay. So I'm going down the road, and some jerk with lots of electronic knowledge and equipment in his car decides he don't like the way I'm driving. Even though I'm not driving, the car's driving by itself. He don't like it, you know? So, let's make this car over here take a left right now. Boom. I'm, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the red flag thing.
Yeah.
That's another subject. I mean, that's how, you know, but I mean, that would scare me. If I'm driving, especially a 2,000-pound weapon, I want control.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. I just want control. And you're right. If everybody else is riding and we don't have to worry about our vehicles being hacked while we're going down the road, why not? Like I said the other night, hey, I'm still waiting for my, my flying car. So
you and me too, brother. Well, hey, listen, Jesse, did you want to cover any?
I got all night. No.
Hey, listen, if you got something else that pisses you off, tell me about it.
No, I got, that stupid people.
Well, I think we covered a lot of that ground.
Right, I know. But they piss me off too, stupid people. The lazy people.
Actually, that's
tantrums because they didn't get their toy. I just want to spank them for the parents sometimes.
Oh, you're a hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah, stay off the gadgets. Pay attention to your driving, please, for everybody's sake.
Yes.
And if you don't want to drink and drive, don't do that either.
Yeah, please don't.
Drive either.
Yeah, even if you want to, don't.
Yeah, don't.
All right, Jesse. Hey, man, thanks for sharing, dude. I appreciate it.
No problem. I had to come on.
I'm glad you did, man. Good. See, this is cathartic, is it not?
Yes.
All right, brother.
Take it easy.
Yeah, have a good rest of your evening. We'll see you.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely right. That is one of my pet peeves as well. Whenever we're talking about people that are having trouble on the road, distracted, and or even those people who don't know what they're doing. I've said this before, but folks, if you're on the highway and you're in the left lane and you're not passing people, you're doing it wrong. If you're in the far right lane and you're not getting on or getting off the highway, you're still doing it wrong. So don't do that. I've been joined by my wife. She's not going to say anything. You want to say hello?
Hello.
That was the first, ladies and gentlemen. That was my wife. Say hello to my wife in the chat, if you will. But yeah, those drivers, man. I could spend it. Well, I just had another idea for a show, and I will do a driver show, whether it's on the good side or the bad side. We'll just have to see. I want to welcome Tim Timmons to the show as well. And I did say hello to Rent to Grow. How you doing, Claire? Always a pleasure to see you. If I missed anyone else that has shown up that, Homesteading with the Herberts, I saw you come up earlier. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. And I think I said Susan McCanna, but she'll be right back. Guys, it's fantastic having you in here. Let's, oh my, I've got so many people and so little time. I got time for one more, and all these folks have been up quite a bit before, but I think Angel was in here first, so we'll talk to Angel for a short time, and then we'll call her a day. Let me change your title here, Angel, because I am interested in hearing what makes you mad. And fear not, folks, I will probably extend this to a different night so we can talk about this in greater detail. It looks like Ben on Adventures. How you doing? It looks like this is a very popular topic, and I definitely do want to cover it again. Like, we got some hellos in the chat for you. Huh?
Maybe you can do a part 2 there, Jim.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Angel. I'm going to do a part 2 and let people get it off their chest like we have. Oh man, I've got 3 more. Guys, I only do this for about an hour a night, and we are at 11 o'clock. So after Angel, I'm afraid that's going to be it. But don't fear. Everyone is welcome, and I do this every Sunday through Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Fridays 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday night is my full panel show where I invite anyone on a panel. That's one of those panels. Bear with me, Angel. I'm sorry. It's one of the panel shows where you don't have to be invited. You are invited. It's an open. You don't have to say anything. You just come on and have a good time and chime in whenever you feel the need to do so. So I know I see all of you up there, but I mean, I get to go. Okay, Angel, how are you, man? What?
I'm doing well.
What annoys Angel?
Well, I talked about it like during the Friday stream a bit and such. But the things that annoy me a lot is probably the distracted driving, because there was a driver last night when me, my sister, and her husband were going to Dave and Buster's, and the driver didn't even look to see where we are and such, and I was like, wow.
Some people, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm trying
to. The other thing that is a pet peeve of mine is when I feel as though people are trying to dictate and tell me what to do.
Oh, that's a pet peeve of yours. Yeah, we've had this discussion before, and of course you do know why they try to do that, Angel, don't you?
They are just there to help, but if it's not help that I asked for or such, or things that I've always wanted to improve on, but never really thought about asking of people, it's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah. No, understandably so, my friend, and understandably so. But yeah, they're only trying to help you, and sometimes help not sometimes help not asked for is some of the best help there is out there. So can't be the worst too, but what else? Anything else, bud?
This question that Ohio Relic Hunter asked me, how's the new pad, Angel? Well, the pad is great, but it's just there's an oversense of security here that kind of feels like it's a military/prison, and that's one thing of a pet peeve of mine is even though they are looking out for people, I kind of often feel as though there are certain things that go a bit eccentric and a bit over beyond what it is. Because some people like this place is taking security like to an extreme of what I feel, but it's even though the security is all for the safety of the residents and all, but I kind of like feel as though I'm being watched 24/7, and this kind of feels like a military / prison because I have to use a like little card pass to access many of the floors here, from the front door to the elevator and to even my own apartment building. And my family has access, but they don't have their own card. They have to sign in all the time. And even though my family has been here several times, they should know the family by now. And I don't think the family member's been here so many times. The family shouldn't be have allowed to be signed in.
Well, you say that, but and you should, from my perspective, you should actually enjoy that because that's ultimate security. Think about the military for a minute. Even if the guards recognized me at a check post, I had to show my ID. I mean, it becomes that tight for a reason, right? It keeps people from doing bad things or bad people getting in, and you can't always trust somebody recognizing somebody. So just remember that, dude. Just remember that. I would love it because it's really nice security. You won't have to worry about anybody breaking in. That's for sure. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I just got a message. I'm going to respond to after I'm here.
okay.
And I can't remember what else pet peeves or such I talked about on your Friday stream, but a lot of things that I also have a pet peeve of is people having conspiracies like without any evidence. Because there are a lot of people who believe that the earth is flat, but I kind of don't believe that. Sorry for the rhyme. And there's also people who believe other things without any actual evidence and proof. Like a few months ago, there was a contestant on the Dream Car Week back on May 31st that won a lucky 7 by guessing all 5 numbers right without losing a single dollar or getting one wrong. And some people say that she cheated and such, but some people, they don't even have any evidence to things without any actual evidence.
I have that same pet peeve, Angel. Same pet peeve. Yeah, conspiracy theories don't wash well with me, especially when there's hard evidence to the contrary. So, good point, man.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, listen, Angel, we're hitting 11 o'clock, and we've got somebody new. I hope Shauna forgives me, but we've got somebody new who wants to come up, and I think I want to give.
All right, I'll go ahead and let you bring the new person up, and if you do this again, I'll try to come on earlier.
Sounds good, but I think I will be doing it again. It sounds like it's a very interesting topic for a lot of people.
That's why earlier I recommend you going for like a little over an hour or maybe 2, but I understand an hour is usually what you keep the length for your stream, or like this topic stream at least.
Yeah, I don't want to burn out you guys, and I don't want to burn out myself, man. I want to stick around for a while.
That's understandable. And hello to you, Jim's wife.
Do you see her waving? There she is.
Yeah. Well, you all have a great night. Bye.
You too, Angel. We'll see you, bud. Yeah, Shauna Marie Penny was up next, but we've got somebody who's new, Shauna, and I hope you understand. Like I said, I will do this topic again, but I think I'm going to bring up Jacob real fast since he's never been on the show, and we'll see what ticks Jacob off. And I think this might be his first time on. This is your first time on Zoom, Jake? Can you hear me? Let's see, Jacob. This is where I get to type. Now,
I think it is in this format. Can you hear me over there?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I think that I have a little bit of lag, so let me go ahead and close this this YouTube stream here and see if that kind of helps out. Is that better? Am I echoing?
No, you're not echoing at all, and you don't really have to close it out. Most of the time, just muting it works just fine. Yeah. Now you don't want to watch at the same time because I'm actually sending you the program out. So what you see in Zoom is what everybody else is seeing.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, dude, welcome to the show.
Hi. How's everybody going? Yeah, this has been a really cool segment. I've been seeing some familiar faces in here on some of these different streams that I've been joining. Sorry that you're kind of feeling a little under the weather, man. As a former Army grunt myself, my condolences out to you, man. I hope everything works out for you, and especially like with the CBD and stuff like that as well. I mean, if you have any questions on that, that's something that my wife, who's also a veteran, she's pretty experienced in that. So maybe that can be kind of an alternative for you if that's something that you've been looking into.
I have been looking into it, but like I said, that, and you may not have been in the head of the show, but it's like, somebody tell me what's wrong, right?
Yeah,
Is it a pinched nerve? Is it a collapsed disc? Is it a fracture? Is it what was the other one? Shit, I can't even remember. But
bulging
herniated disc. Yeah. Is it arthritis? That was the other one. Just tell me what it is. So, if you can't take care of it, I'll work on some things like CBD oil, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I played arena football for a few years, and damage to the sciatica and stuff like that, which is the nerve that's running down from the pelvis down to the heel of the foot. That might be kind of what you're dealing with, and that could be due to bulging or due to arthritis as well. That's inflaming that. So, hopefully you get diagnosed and you get that figured out, man. Because being in constant pain, it's torture, man. It is, and I'm feeling for you out there. I can see it.
Thanks.
I can see it. So I appreciate what you're doing here, and still continuing on your program. It really does show your determination and your commitment to your subscribers. So that's definitely cool.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, brother, I should say. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's and if it wasn't for the meds, I probably wouldn't, because even having dealt with this for 25 years, it came to a head this weekend, and it laid me up for a good day. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's the point that you can't, no matter your training, no matter your experience, pride, ego, whichever. I mean, we're all human. Everybody has a breaking point, and
Yep.
you probably push yourself harder than most people would in that situation. So just sometimes it gets you. And another thing before I hit the topic of discussion here, is that my background is in business finance and human resource. I actually have a master's in human resource. I manage several companies. So if I believe you said it was your wife that may be dealing with some HR related issues, definitely get a hold of me off camera, kind of behind the scenes, if you want to bounce any ideas off, because there's a lot of HR. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why it's one of the most in demand career fields right now, is because there's so much incompetence in the human resource department in companies that they have a lot more power, and they're able to do a lot more, because their job is to put their employees first, to keep employee retention, to keep training high, to keep safety high, to make sure there's competent managers, make sure there's competent leadership and training. So that's their job. So if they're not doing that, they're giving your wife, I believe, a disservice. And so again, if you want kind of from the outside looking in, if you would care to share that offline, I'll kind of bounce some ideas off you that might be able to help. And
Cool.
if I have to go maybe a legal route or whichever, we can help you with that too. So
Very cool,
I
man.
just want to offer that out to you.
Appreciate
So
that.
pet peeve wise, I would say mine's kind of an overreaching pet peeve. It's kind of a broad pet peeve, but that really is negativity and incompetence is really what kind of kills me. I know a lot of people that will project their own insecurities or project their own, I guess, lack of ambition onto other people that are trying to break the mold and do something better for themselves. I see a lot of that on the YouTube platform, for example. A lot of people that are, trying to start a channel out, and they're putting together content, and they're putting their heart and soul into things. And when they talk to people about it, and when they try to get people excited to support them and follow their dreams, especially in their warm market, when it comes to family, friends, people that should normally always support you in what you do, as long as you're adding value and it's positive. And then being shot down and really stifling and killing things that could be revolutionary before they even break out of the infancy stage. And a lot of people are so resistant and afraid of change that they'll never break the mold. They'll always stay miserable. They'll always keep banging their heads against a rock. But when somebody goes, hey, well, instead of keeping hitting the rock, why don't we kind of go to the side a little bit? Maybe there's a different way to do this. but they won't do it because they're too afraid, and so they're going to bring everybody else down because misery loves company.
That's where the negativity comes in.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's a cancer, and it's something that I see so much in society now, because, you know, and matter of fact, kind of referring to one of the first guests that we had, I believe her name was Raven, to where this younger generation that is coming into power and is going to be, you know, directing our country here the next 10, 15 years, especially in industry and the political field. So many people are living vicariously through other people that alternate realities nowadays, it attracts people more than their own reality.
Yes.
You know, like with the reality TV and the video games. And again, I mean, gamers and stuff like that, that's great. You know, I've got nothing against that. I totally support people that do that. It's a great release, it's a great whatever. But when people are more worried about their video game score than, say, their credit score, or pursuing a better job, or pursuing something else to better their position in life, what that does is that creates kind of a disconnect to where they don't really, you know, get out of that 9 to 5. They don't really get out of that mold, and so they just become miserable in their lives, and they just do the minimal amount of work, and they focus everything else on something that really doesn't matter in the real world. And that's a huge problem, because that expands on a whole nother level. I mean, that expands worldwide. That's going to decrease industry. That's going to decrease business.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to decrease the machine, the worldwide machine, because people would rather focus on things other than real life.
Yeah, it's today's alcoholism, is the way I see it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a way to escape and escape from the position of your own making. Honestly, in many cases, if you're too afraid to take chances, one that could have just been the way you've been brought up. But if you don't take those chances, then you settle into one of those jobs you were talking about, and you're totally miserable for the rest of your life. Man, those escapes like gaming are the new alcoholism. That's why I think, and this is my own theory, that's why we see so many people addicted to them.
Absolutely. Everybody's addicted to something that takes the pain away.
Yep.
You know, I'm a former drug addict. I was a big meth user for many, many, many years. I actually started using meth at 14.
Wow.
When I went into the military, it was actually right after an OD, and I got into a little bit of trouble, and it was either you go to jail or you go to military.
Sure.
And so I just stayed sober long enough at 18 years old. I joined the military. I was 137 pounds at 18 years old. I was just a skeleton.
Yeah.
You know, and when I went into the military saved my life. I owe the military everything that I am today. I owe to the military. And I found something I was good at. I found structure. I found a sense of belonging and a sense of camaraderie. And that really excelled me. And I still use what I learned in the military to my operations today, and focusing on what can I do to be a leader? What can I do to help you and to grow you? Because my job, especially as a business consultant and business manager, is I want every one of my clients to be more successful than I am.
Sure.
I mean, that's my goal, because that speaks on my ability.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so, you know, kind of getting into that and bodybuilding, et cetera, is kind of, you know, what I do to blow off steam. But, you know, with social media and with games and stuff like that, I mean, it's fine to have that passion and be able to blow off that steam. But the problem is when it becomes your life, and when you're miserable in life, you're going to infiltrate and you're going to sicken, for lack of better words, your social circle. And then that's contagious.
Yes.
You know, so I just see people go to really any job or any workplace. I mean, how many people in a traditional workplace is excited to do what they do?
Yeah.
You know, there's not very many that are excited to be there, and that reflects on their quality of work as well.
Oh, for sure. Sure. And that's a direct loss in productivity, and of course, bottom line revenue because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why some of these people that are trying to break the mold or do something different for themselves, they turn into excellent leaders and excellent inspirations to bring people out of that fold and start doing something different. And that's creating a positive environment that people can grow and people can continue in. So
yeah.
I think that's kind of in a nutshell, for lack of better words, that's kind of my pet peeve, because I see it everywhere. I just hate people seeing. I just hate seeing people that are miserable all the time.
Yeah.
You know, really.
I would add to that some of those people who come out from that position and decide to make a change for themselves often become some of the best managers, owners on the planet, right? Because you never, if they can always remember where they came from and make adjustments, so that they don't, you know, what's the term I'm looking for? So they don't infect other people with what they had to endure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's infecting them with that mentality. And here's the thing. And in the case if I have younger subscribers or whichever that are here, which typically on YouTube, it is a younger person platform. And we're kind of the older people on this platform. You know, these kids grew up on YouTube. I mean, that's how they got their information. We went to libraries. You know, that's how we learn stuff, you know, or calling in radio shows. I remember calling into mechanic radio shows working on my truck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, trying to figure something out because there was no YouTube. You know, the world needs leaders.
Yes.
The world needs visionaries. The world needs people that are going to come out and are going to change some of the negative direction this world's going in. And that really falls on the generation under me.
Yes.
You know, and then when they're trying to break out and they're trying to do their thing, everybody around them is shooting them down. And my generation is guilty of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, because I grew up to where we started transitioning from putting ads into classified magazines to putting ads on Facebook. You know, I transitioned from magazines to online websites, you know, so I kind of got, you know, a firm grasp on both demographics. But, you know, the problem is that if you don't adapt, you know, you just become old fashioned and you die, just like with business, you know, and we need new ideas. We need visionaries. We need people that are going to come out and really get this going. And if people are so miserable in life that they're not inspired to do anything to change it, like they have to be the change. You have to be the change.
That's right.
You know, or it's just gonna repeat himself. You know, it's just like people that never have a good relationship and they go through relationship, and finally they're like, well, I'm just gonna treat everybody that I'm with like crap because I'm just used to it. But like, what kind of life do you live like that? You know?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for them, most people don't even realize that they're in that position. That's the sad part. And they're just waiting for the wake up call. And I think it's people like you that give them that wake up call. I know I've talked to a lot of people that have, that are completely, not aware of their current situation. They're not aware of their attitude because of that situation. And all it takes is many times is the information being power. Once they have the information, they know suddenly how they're being perceived or how they're coming off. Then you see a change in many people. I've seen a market change. But you
nailed it. I mean, I'm sorry. Where you going? I think there's a bit of a lag. So I feel like I keep stepping on you.
No, I was done.
Okay. But you're absolutely right. You nailed it on the head. And that's one of the reasons, because I've operated under my company name for a long time. I mean, I incorporated a while ago. I mean, I was blessed enough to retire from the workforce in 2015 when I turned 31.
Nice.
I was done working. I didn't have to work anymore. And so I founded my own company and started bringing people in, and I travel the United States. I do real estate investments, real estate flips. I invest in local business. I, you know, make a little bit of money and make a little bit of impact, and I move on. And I just came to Colorado from Nebraska. I was in Nebraska for about a year and a half. And so I'll be here for about a year. I'm helping a roofing company do some expansion out here. I've got 2 properties to rehab and put on the market. And then I'm going to Texas next. And just trying to wrap all this up together, because I know that you're trying to end, because this has been a late segment for you.
It has. I'm not going to rush you. I'm not going to rush you. I try not to do that to any of my guests. and I wouldn't even be in this situation. I'd probably let it go long because it's been such a popular subject, but I do have that doctor's appointment in the morning. But I'm not going to rush you, dude.
Absolutely. Well, I'll wrap it up here. I can't see the chat, so if people are chatting, I can't really address anything.
Well, when they have questions for you, I'll bring them up. And I haven't seen anyone tag me for a question, so
excellent.
We're good. And of course, this won't be the last time you're on, I hope.
No. It's actually one of the subjects I was going to bring up was that, you know, with the YouTube platform, I was able to kind of step out of my company shadow as Build Enterprises, because I didn't like to be in the limelight. I don't like being on camera. I don't like, the video production, and I'm not an editor, and I don't have skills like that. I've always outsourced it. I've always outsourced to sites like Fiverr or local businesses that specialize in that. But so this is a big step for me too. But when I see, just as any entrepreneur would do, when you see a gap in a market, you're going to take advantage of that. And one of the biggest things is like, why isn't there more people on YouTube that are talking about these things, that are showing people? And again, I'm not like a massive guru, and I'm not a superstar, I'm not a multi-billionaire, and there are some channels that are like that. But I think that when people reach that level and they kind of brag about what they have all the time, I think that's kind of a big disconnect with people, because it's almost like, what's the angle? Because everybody's suspicious. Everybody wants to know what the angle is.
Oh yeah.
I got that in business all the time, is what's your angle? So being on YouTube, I can provide, a free service. I can, connect to more people, say, hey, this is who I am. This is my company. This is how I was able to do it. And I'd love to show you how you can do it as well. And then there'll be monetary compensation in different ways.
Sure.
But the content is absolutely free on YouTube.
Yeah.
You're never going to charge somebody to sit there and go, hey, during this, or if this happens, take a look at this, or what can I do to help you? Because again, I mean, there are probably people on this channel right now that have multi-million-dollar ideas. I'm sure of it. Everybody has kind of a pipe dream or kind of an idea. And what I feel that my calling is to talk to them. And if nobody supports them in their dream, and their dream makes sense, well, let me support you. What can I do to help you out? Using my experience. And again, I don't have an unlimited amount of resources or anything. Like if it's a $250,000 startup, I couldn't do that right now. But I can kind of help with some of the baselines. Go, hey, this is what's worked for me, or this is how to kickstart or fundraise or get investors. Because I'm a privately traded company. I'm a C corporation, so I have investors that buy stock in my company. Sure. So I can help them kind of set it up and go, hey, there is a way. And if nobody supports you, well, then I'll support you, and I'll connect you to supporters, and let's do this. Like live your dream, break the mold, have fun. We got one shot here, right? We got one shot on this planet.
That's right. You only get so many.
Miserable.
You only get so many trips around the sun. And what's up with not thinking you're good on camera, dude? You're actually a natural, honestly. You put a $100 mic in front of you, and some props behind, and talk about whatever you want to. Because I've seen you twice now. Once on the Creator Spotlight show, and once on this show. And dude, you kill it. I mean, I think you got a future if you continue to put things together for YouTube.
I really appreciate it, because this office just got set up last week, so we just moved down, or excuse me, I think like a week and a half ago. So I've still got stuff on the floor behind me that needs to get put up. But yeah, I'll be getting a microphone and kind of getting that going. I really wasn't sure how much money I wanted to put into this, because again, I want to test the market to see to make sure that I'm adding value. Because if I'm not adding value to something, I mean, I could feel like I'm the biggest, brightest, know-it-all guru, everything. But if I'm truly not offering value to people, and if it's not reciprocated, then I need to move on to something else, because it's just not be my calling.
Sure.
And I think that one of the biggest things was plugging in networks from Pusa, and then you, and then I think they're called the creator
Spotlight show.
Yes, great. Thank you. Sure. I just met him this morning.
Yeah, that's Mike Van Doozy.
And so plugging into networks like this, I mean, I really think that with all of us kind of leveraging each other's resources, bases, and platforms, I mean, I think we can do a lot of good in the world. And hopefully, like even said, picking up trash, going outdoors. I'm an avid hunter, and I'm an avid fisherman. And so that's something that my father taught me, was to always leave, your hunting area better than you found it, always. We've got claims that we'd go out and clean up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I have the same philosophy in the world. Like, what's my legacy? Like, how am I going to leave this planet a little bit better than when I left it? Because there are millions, billions of people now that are going to leave it worse off than when they found it. And so again, you got to be the change, and that's why I'm here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jacob, we've just met. And I know you haven't been able to go through my content, but I'll give you a quick synopsis of who I am. One, sure. My education is in electronics engineering, but I left that after going, 10, 15 years in broadcast television. I moved on to web development and digital marketing.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, do you still do that to this day? Do you still develop?
Yeah,
I
and
might
I
have to
also,
talk to you offline.
yeah, absolutely. I also consult on the audio video
Really?
setup. Yeah,
Okay, good. This is good then.
yeah, yeah.
This
So
is good for
my
me.
my email address is actually right at the bottom of every one of my videos. Um, feel free to hit me up, man. We'll start a conversation and go a little further with this because I think I can help you out on at least the backdrop because you apparently have no problem talking on camera.
I think I talk too much.
Well, sometimes but that's okay because you get to edit it out when you're doing it, as a informational video, right? If you've got a subject matter you want to cover, it's a perfect way to go because you can just ramble on and then you can edit out those things either that are of monetary value and you want save those for because there's no substitute. I've been a consultant for years. There's no substitute for one-on-one interaction when you're trying to help somebody get through a problem or solve their problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. YouTube can only go so far because the questions can't be answered real time unless you're doing a live stream. You're not going to reach all the people you're going to want to on a live stream. It's going to be pre-recorded, so they're going to have questions. And to have that, you hold back those key points that are best expressed face to face, and it's gold. So, do you know of Gary V?
Yeah, I know Gary
Yeah.
Vee.
I can see because he does what we were just talking about, but he hasn't gotten to that point where he just brags about what he's got. He still throws out good information for people who need to, looking for that type of information. But I know the other ones you're talking about too.
Yeah, well, it's a fine balance, and again, not to take too much more time, but I mean, you kind of you brought up a really good point. So, and I would like to ask the audience as well, kind of what the thoughts are, because there are some younger audience here. But it's almost like, again, with the generation under me coming up and coming into power, and they're actually the second largest buying power right now. For their population size,
Yeah.
is that's kind of what turns them on nowadays. Is the flashy, and we all see the ads of the guy doing this on the screen and dropping, stabbing, looking like we are in Vegas, and that attracts that attracts that demographic. And like the Lamborghinis, right? Like I legitimately looked at buying a Lamborghini like 2 months ago. I legitimately went in there, looked at, I'm sitting there going, like, man, that's like 3 flip properties that I can turn and I can flip for 60 grand a piece.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I can double that in cash right now. And it cost me what? Investment properties for right now for the loans are what, 10%, 20% cash down at just under a 4% APR, I believe is what the mortgage rates are. So again, but then you have to look at too, okay, well, marketing wise, like is it a smart marketing expense? Because in taxation, I think a luxury vehicle, you can only write off either 40 or 60,000 that you can write off for depreciation. So taking that into account and say, okay, if I'm driving around in this, everybody's going to ask me what I do, but is that really worth it? It just, as a conservative investor, it's really, really hard for me to do that.
Oh,
I have such a hard time doing that. But again, it's what sells these guys.
Oh,
It's
sure.
what sells this younger generation. That's what it's all about.
I just don't
And
understand
those people
that.
are broke.
Yeah, and I really don't understand that. It's the old adage, man. If your plumber shows up in a Mercedes, you're going to spend too much.
You know what? That's great that you brought that up, because I actually was talking to somebody who's a little bit older than me, and I asked him straight up, and we were talking business consulting. He actually turned into a really good friend of mine. But I said, hey, I just kind of got an oddball just completely off the beaten path question here. If I showed up in a Lamborghini and I was telling you how to run your business and how to make more money, what would you say? And he goes, I wouldn't even let you in the door. He literally told me that.
Yeah.
But then again, if you're driving down the road and there's 20, 22, 25-year-old kids, they're going to see that. They're going to be hooping and hollering, and they will buy any product that you sell them to get that.
Oh,
It's so crazy to me.
I just don't get that. In our day, I'm a little bit older than you are. It was, you got to find that fine line, man. Don't show up in a 1978 Ford Courier that's all rusted out. I'm going back to the plumber analogy, but then again, don't show up in a Mercedes, but if you're in a, I don't know, give me a good car, a mid-size SUV or something, or a nice truck, nice F-150, then you're going to hit that sweet spot where people are going to think, okay, he's not going to rip me off. But at the same time, he's not some dude, starving to get by and he's going to do a shoddy job. So,
Absolutely.
but
And
it's amazing
that's
to
how
hear
I've
what you're
always
saying.
run.
Yeah.
I still drive a Super Duty. I drive an 04 Super Duty.
Yeah.
I've got my commuter vehicle, and then our luxury vehicle is we have a Q50 Infinity.
Mhm.
That's all, pretty much decked out, but it's like a 2016, so it's not brand new, and that's our nice car.
Yeah.
And it's all bought, it's all paid for, because again, I would rather take that money and put it into properties and put it into rentals, especially the California market. I've got a couple rentals out there right now that are performing really well. I would much rather put that money there because that money's now making me money. And again, with consulting and with financial consulting, I've met a lot of people that had the Corvettes and had the Vipers back when they were hot, and these guys were flat broke. I mean, I'm saying if there was somebody who had zero debt, they would have more money than the guy that had all those toys. And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, a lot of these guys are flat broke.
Absolutely. Just trying to keep up appearances. I'm going to end on this, Jacob. Jacob, make sure that you don't take financial advice from someone whose portfolio is smaller than yours.
Well, it's just like when
that was kind of an end around.
Don't take advice from a personal trainer who's smaller than you, right? Is that kind of
that's kind of the same thing.
adage?
Yeah. Well, Jacob, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you being on,
great.
dude.
Thank you.
We'll have you back on, and thanks for all the salient points, and of course, telling us who or what your pet peeves are, dude.
Yeah, quit being negative. If you want it, get it, man. It's a land of opportunity. It's an age of technology. Anything you'd want to know, you can find with these fingers.
Got that right.
You have access to everything. So there's no dream too big anymore. There isn't.
Well said, my brother. Well said. Well, listen, have a good evening, man. And we'll get you back on real soon.
All right, man. Thank you. Feel better, brother.
Oh, thanks. I will. Love having new people on, and he's whoops. I was almost going to remove you there. One of the good ones. Absolutely one of the good ones. You can tell that he's very passionate about what he does. And I love passion. Ghana, don't worry about the banana war. I don't mind at all. Well, folks, my meds are wearing off. I need to get some new ones in my bod. I want to thank everybody. Not a great gamer. I'm sorry I didn't get to you. Dude, we'll do this again, but it's 11:30 and I've got an early doctor's appointment. As you know, I love having you on as well. You certainly are always welcome here. But folks, I got a call tonight. Now, tomorrow night, remember, we're going to do the sporting creators, cash or share. Which would you rather have as a creator? As a viewer, which would you rather extend to those creators you'd like to support? That's going to be our subject tomorrow. And again, that was suggested inadvertently by Lou Rock, guy I've been on a couple of live streams with. Great guy. And we'll show you his channel and drop links tomorrow night. So join us then, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As for now, though, I've got to go. You guys make sure you treat others the way you would want to be treated. If we all did that, this world would be a fantastic place. Thanks to all my guests. Thanks to all of you in the chat. Without you, this would not be possible. I so appreciate it. Good night, folks. We'll see you live.